Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? Welcome back. This is the Taryn Lamp Show, season number 9, episode number 2. How are you today? Hope all is going well with everyone. Again, this is the Taryn Lamp Show, season number 9, episode number 2. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please make sure that you are joining us on all the platforms, or at least your preferred platform. We are here on IG Live, and you can see past shows on my IG. You can also see past shows on my YouTube at I Am Taryn Lamp. And you can listen to past shows on the Taryn Lamp Show on Apple Podcast. So please make sure whatever platform you love and whatever platform loves you, that you make sure you're joining us. Also like to send a quick ask to everybody to share the show. I'm really trying to work on making sure we're getting these stories out. We have so many amazing stories. Hello, Cuz and Sora. We have so many amazing guests that have been on the Taryn Lamp Show in the past, and we have some great ones coming up here today and in the future. So I'm really trying to work on getting the show out, and getting it exposed, really, because I think it's important. We have a lot of amazing stories. You don't have to be a quote unquote celebrity to have an amazing story. We see a lot of amazing stories by the people in Hollywood, but what about the people in your backyard that have amazing stories? And that's what this is about: sharing that love, sharing that positivity, and learning from those of us who are everyday people with amazing stories. So we are going to get our guest on, Miss Tina, and she is going to share her story. And if you tell me if you can hear me, okay? I don't know if you can hear me when I'm over here, or do I have to talk into this thing right here, microphone? So can you hear me when I do this, or is it better when I'm kind of angled like this? That's my question right now, because I'm trying to figure out how you can hear me. London, can you hear me when I'm better angled like this, or can you hear me when I'm just talking straight to the phone? Or is it better like this? Which one? Tell me. Because I need to figure out how to get this so that everybody can hear me better. I don't know. Just let me know. Let's see. Did that work? Let me see. Oh, there you are. It did work. Hi, Tina. How are you, beautiful?
Oh, you're beautiful. Thank you. But
How are
I'm
you doing?
doing amazing. I am excited.
Okay, so better with the microphone. I get. You can hear me better with this microphone. I think I need to kind of figure out how to get that. Yes, I am.
Turn on your lights.
Oh, it's okay. Well, I'm on my live already. Sorry. Oh, technical.
Just put the lights
My husband wants to know if he should put up the lights. I'm like, well, you can put them up if you. Yeah, just put them up.
I do this. I stay out your way. That'll help.
Oh, set design real quick. Okay. How are you, Tina? How's it
I'm
going? How was your day?
doing great. My day was busy, but it was good. How about yours?
Same. Busy. Good. We
Good.
are melting here in Chicago. It's the snow is melting, so
Hmm.
that's been, it's turning into a little slushy rain or whatever this is called. So, but it's better than freezing, I guess. We'll take melting.
Good. Good.
So
Good.
I put in your promo, domestic violence survivor,
Hmm.
advocate, and author.
Yes.
And I want to hear, hello, everybody that's joining. This is the Taryn Lamp Show, season number 9, episode 2, and we have Miss Tina here. I want to hear all about your story.
Okay.
And I want to hear, too, about where you are now and how you are, either starting to overcome where you are kind of in that journey. So
Okay.
give us a little, a little start, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. I'm excited. I love telling my story because my story, and I always pray that, I always pray before I even got on, Lord, just let my story inspire someone that's in this type of relationship, just to take heed from what I've gone through. So my story started back in 2011. I met a man. I had been by myself, single for like 14 years. And I always say, and I even say this in my book, be careful for what you
Mm.
pray for. So I was praying for a man, to God to send me a man, a godly man that loved God and that's gonna love me because I knew if he loved God, he was gonna respect and love me. But I completely got the opposite. I actually met him the day before my birthday, the day after my birthday. Our birthday is October 25th. I met him on October the 26th of 2011. And when I say I was moving too fast in the relationship, I was. I moved too fast. He was a truck driver. I met him here in Houston, Texas. I was out sampling. I was doing this coffee business at the time, and it was just like, okay, well, yeah, maybe this is him. So, gave him a sample of coffee, and within the 2 days we were talking on the phone, and literally within from October to February, he had moved to Houston
Mm.
with me.
Ew.
Yeah, too
Oh,
fast. So now this was not my first bout of domestic violence. When I was a lot younger, in my early, I think I was like 20 years old. It was my first bout of domestic violence. So here it is. I was in my late 40s. I think I was around 47, 48 at the time when I met him. And here I am going through it again and didn't have a clue until actually he moved in. One thing about when you're in these relationships, you have to pay attention. Like I already knew some of the red flags, but again, I chose to ignore them. And I did. I walked right into this thing again. And moved in with him. He moved in with me and still was a truck driver, and he ended up getting a job here in Houston, and he would haul trucks, cars on the 18 wheeler, the car haulers. So I remember the first time I went with him on the road. That was the first time that he hit me, and it's all in my book. The storyline from the time we got together, how we met, the first time he hit me. The first time it hit me was we were on our way to Dallas, Texas, to pick up a vehicle, and had a conversation about one of his daughters. What he wanted to get her for Christmas, and I was like, "Well, really, financially, you're not able to get her anything. So, and why can her mom do, help out or whatever?" So the conversation got kind of heated, and he said, I think he told me to shut up, and me, I had a little smart mouth, and I was like, "Well, what you gonna do if I don't shut up?" And let me tell you what he did. He hit me. He came in from here, right here. I still have a scar to the day that I remember. And like I said, it's all in the book. We get to Dallas. By the time we get to Dallas, my whole face, my eye, everything was, I mean, it was literally swole. So he made me get off the truck. And I got off because I guess he figured if I stayed in, I was gonna run, which I was, and I should have ran that first time. So I got off, and when I've actually gone back to that same truck stop since all this has happened, just to do a video and stuff because I'm doing some things with my book. So I mean, literally, the truck drivers were looking at me. He made me come in the building with him, and we went ahead and went on our route. So the route was from like Houston all the way up to the East Coast and back. And by the time I got back, my eye was it was gone. I did have a slight, darkness up under there. I said in the book. Then I had to get myself together because my sons was coming by. They had no idea that I was going through anything, and I said concealer was the key. So that was the first time, and there was so many incidents after that, and then eventually I ended up marrying him. I married him. I think, looking back on it, I think that I married him because of the fear. I love him? Yes, I did.
mhm.
I really did love him. He had a lot of things that was going on in him. He was a very broken man. And even after we got married, he was good for just a moment, but that didn't last. at all, long at all.
So,
So,
so real quickly, someone,
yeah,
first of all, you got hearts when you first started talking. You got some love.
yeah.
So that
Oh,
and says, "I'm sorry you had to go through that." Yes, we
yeah,
are sorry that you had to go through that.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing the story, but
Oh,
obviously it's
yeah,
a lot of people already, and we're for
yeah.
whatever we're 10 minutes in. So thank you.
Yeah,
Go
you're
ahead.
welcome. But so then I ended up marrying him, and then it stopped for just a moment, but it started back up. It was times that I've gotten off the truck with him. I actually got off that truck with him a couple of times. The first time was in Baltimore, Maryland, where I got off and wandered around and ended up. A couple was going to the baseball game over there, and I needed a ride to the bus stop. I was hiding at the truck stop, and the wife was in the bathroom with me, and she saw that I was like in distress, and I just told her I need to get to the bus stop, to the get on the bus. And they was like, she was like, my husband and I, we're going, and it doesn't cost anything. You can get in the cab with us, and I did. So got there, was about to get on. He kept blowing up my phone, blowing up the phone. So I gave in, and he came and picked me up, went back home, did the route, everything. It's always
Is
good for a moment. It's
yeah.
just for a little while. They say they're gonna change, things don't happen that way. And then I got off the truck again in West Memphis, Arkansas, months. This went on for like um the whole entire relationship was like maybe 4 years of this.
Okay.
So there's a whole timeline through the book. So when I got off the truck in West Memphis, Arkansas, and this started because he was accusing me of talking to somebody on Facebook. Now, mind you, he didn't even want me to be on Facebook. He wanted me to just take all my male friends off of Facebook. So I told him I wasn't going to do that. So I just stopped being on it. So he just knew I was on Facebook. So when we was on the road, he was like, we're going to stop at this truck stop, and I need you to open up your Facebook page. Okay. So I was like, fine, I can do that because I know I'm not talking to anybody. So we proceeded in the truck stop. Of course, and it didn't matter to him if he just abused me in private. It didn't matter to him if he did it in public. He didn't put his hands on me in public, but he talked to me crazy in public. So when we even came into that truck stop, people were looking. So I couldn't get the Wi-Fi to work in the truck stop. So we went across the street to the McDonald's, and I was able to bring it up. And I don't know, when I finally did, I don't know, Taryn, what he thought he saw, but he got upset. He left me sitting right there in that truck stop. And mind you, only thing that I had was my laptop. I did not have my purse. I didn't have any money. All I had was a laptop. And he left me there, and went back and got in his truck. And then I guess he thought about it, and then he came back looking for me. But I was in the bathroom, and I did not come out. I didn't come out at all. So and then I watched the truck when it left. So I went back to the truck stop, and I was desperate. I needed to get back home. Here I am in Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm in Houston, Texas. So I wasn't going to ask the male drivers if they were going back. So this one female, she's an African American a lady, and I asked her, I said, are you headed back to Houston, Texas? She said, no, I'm not. But she said, and this was her word, she said, you look like you in dire straits. You need some help. And I said, I do. And she said, let me do this. Let me put you in a room. And she put me in a room. And I'm just putting my shout out there. I am looking for her,
What?
Taryn. Because
Oh,
I have to let her know that I made it.
wow.
I did a TikTok, and I put a plea out there for the truck driver, and I'm going to do it again. And I know God is going to bless me so I can let her know that I made
So,
it. If I see her again, I'll know her.
so um, and I'm going to have you back on because I already have so many questions. I can feel that. So just listening to this and you're thinking at the edge of your seat, don't worry, I am too. So we
Yeah.
are going to have Tina back on to just go into this a little bit more because right now we got about 15 minutes left and I feel like I'm on the side of, I feel like I'm just starting the movie.
Okay.
So,
It's a movie. So let me go
yeah.
ahead. I can wrap it on
What,
up for you real quick.
no,
So,
what I just
no, go
want to
ahead.
know what happened where you were like, this is it. This is the turning point. This is
Okay,
it.
I'll go
Because
ahead and get to that right
I
now.
feel like as women, I think, I don't know what the statistic is, and maybe you know better than me, but it's something like 1 in 3 women have suffered from some sort of assault or domestic violence,
It's
or
one
one
in
in four.
four.
It's low,
It's
one
one
in
in
four.
four.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, most of us think, how did we get here? And what's going to get us out? Like, what was your turning point where you were like, enough
It's
is enough?
enough. Oh, when I speak, this is what I say. You got to find your why. Your why has to be so powerful, it's gonna make you cry. And my why was my sons. I have 3 sons and I have grandbabies. And one of my grandbabies, he loved the little baby when the baby was born. And then as he grew older, it was a whole incident that happened in the book. And I told him, I said, you're going to be sorry for what you just did. And I became like Grandma Hen.
Okay.
That little baby saved my life at the beginning. He was the reason why I got out because you can do what you want to me, but you're not going to abuse my babies. So that was my why. That propelled me to move. Not only him, when I had my 30-something-year-old son that came and picked me up that time I got out on that long bus ride back to Houston, he looks at me and said, Mama, what we going to do when he kill you? Those
Oh,
were my whys. I could not bear the thought of my
oh,
sons or
yeah.
my grandchildren bearing me. So that's why. So I began to plot. I began to plot my way out. And I tell you, you have to do it safely. I did it almost 85% safely, but I didn't do it entirely safely the right way. And that's a whole different thing that I teach now on how to come out of this thing safely. So I had to find my why. And that why was my little 2-year-old grandson and my sons,
Yeah.
my whole family. I see the stories on the news now and it just breaks my heart. And Taryn, I literally cry because I almost died. He almost killed me.
Mhm.
He did, choking me. And it was that same little 2-year-old baby. At the time, he wasn't 2, he was a lot younger. That I cried that you love him. Think about him. He loves me, my grandchildren, and he stopped choking me. I was able to have enough breasts just to say that. And then after that, then he started just beating me on my back and just everywhere. So abuse is real and you got to know your why. You got to get out of this thing because you don't want to be a statistic. I am a statistic because I am a survivor, but there are so many that don't
Yeah.
survive. So now I advocate and I speak for them. I'm telling their stories. I'm working on some things that where I can be able to get in. My goal is to be able to go in that courtroom and to be an advocate, to stand up when the family do that statement. I want to stand up for her. I
Mhm.
want the judge and I want everybody to know how she's feeling when she's about to die, when her life is leaving her body, because I felt it. So you just got to know that you got to love yourself enough. You got to love your family. And if you got children in the home, my
Yeah.
children were grown. They were grown men, but they still were mine.
Hmm.
You just got to
I
know
just
it.
am, like I said, like, I'm in awe. So I'm gonna. I feel like I need to have you back. I feel like, because I told you when I talked to you, I was like, I don't want to know it all because I want to be surprised. I don't even know what to say to you right now, and when I'm a loss for words, like, that's really a loss for words, because I
Yeah.
just think it's like, it's unbelievable
Hmm.
and it's believable,
Yeah.
unfortunately, all at the same
It
time. You know,
is.
I think about, like you said, like that moment, um, where you're thinking to yourself, this could be it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was
Like,
funny.
this, if I don't make a change. But then you're also thinking to yourself, I can imagine, like, how am I going to do this? And you
Yeah.
said a little bit about steps that you're, working on helping others, like,
Hmm.
and have those steps. But just from the things that I've heard, from you and just from people, it's not as easy as, like, okay, just 1 + 1 = 2, right? You're making these steps and making these plans, but you have to make. I'm imagining you have to make these steps and these plans. One, from your broken self, and then
Yes.
two,
Yes.
from your secret self.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and I can also imagine, like, you're not being able to share this with a lot of people for your
Mm,
own protection. So it's
exactly.
wild to me how you can plan this, and it's amazing. And I say wild because I can't fathom it in my own brain.
Yeah.
I cannot think about it, but I know it's happening all around me every day. This Number
Yes.
9, episode number 2. We've got Tina. She's a domestic violence survivor, advocate, and author, sharing her story. And thank you so much. So
You're
I guess,
welcome.
like, once you came out, like, once you're here now, because we're going to have
Hmm.
you back. I know I'm
Okay.
rushing through this fast because your story is just unbelievable. We have I told you it was going to go by so fast. Once you're here now on this quote unquote other side, because I do, I don't know if the word is respect, I do empathize with the fact that you always
Hmm.
have this with you, right? In
Yes.
my in my thoughts, like, I know you can get on the other side of it, but I don't believe you'll ever forget it,
No.
you know. Um,
Mm-mm.
and so
Mm-mm.
now that you're on the other side, like, how is that, Tina? How is she doing?
Now that I'm literally on the other side of it,
Mhm.
because it took me a while to get to where I am this point. It took me a while to even write this book. I had to first forgive
Mhm.
him. I had to forgive myself. I had to do my work. I had to
Yeah.
heal to move forward. Now let me tell you something. When I first left and everything transpired through the book, and you have to get the book to get to the end of it, because some things talk about vindication. God vindicated me 100%. I couldn't even drive down the road without even looking at a car hauler without crying. But let me
Mhm.
tell you something. Now that when I'm down, I travel a lot. When I'm rolling down the highway, this is what I do. I do be like, thank you, because I had to go through that to get to where I am today, so I can tell my story. So I'm in a good place now. I'm standing. I'm like, Lord, you know my heart. I would like to be married again, but I'm not, I'm not pushing myself out
Mhm.
there like that. I'm working on me still. It's a daily thing, and I
Yeah.
do have reminders, and I take it and I turn it to the good, and I use it for the good, and I use my story and everything that I've gone through to help somebody else. So I'm writing books. I have a new book that I'm about to get out real soon, and it's going to be to help our young girls and our young the young people, not just the girls, the boys
Yeah.
too, when they in high school and they out there dating, and when they hitting this college. And I'll go ahead and give you the name of the book. My new book is going to be entitled "Every Kiss Is Not a Good Kiss: The Things That You Need to Know Before You Open the College Door." I got the warning signs. I got some stories. They're going to see themselves in these particular stories.
Mhm.
When you in the beginning of these relationships, those are red flags in a little workbook and everything. That's some things that, questions that you need to ask. That the best time is to cut it before it even gets started.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I I think that's interesting to look at some of the, the warning signs. And I like, also, I don't want to be remiss and think that this is just a women's thing. I
Mm-mm.
do understand that domestic violence happens on both sides of the
Yeah,
spectrum. There
it
are men
does.
that are abused as well. And so we have to definitely, recognize that and speak to that,
Absolutely.
and make sure we acknowledge that, if you
Yes.
will. But I think
Yes.
it's good that you're sharing some quote unquote warning signs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hope that when people read and listen, that they take those warning signs seriously. I can
Yes.
also
Yes.
imagine that there's some, quote unquote warning signs that don't get taken seriously,
Mm-mm.
and or don't
Oh
get,
yeah.
because you don't even really think about them, right? You just think,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Oh,
I can't.
that's
He's not
cute. Yeah, they
gonna
just
do that
think,
to me,
yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
she's not going to do that to me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you think that, uh,
Yeah, definitely. Most
and
definitely.
I also think, like, for the people that you're helping now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you said warning signs, but what other things might you tell them? Or if someone's listening now, or if someone's
Mm-hmm.
gonna, what other things might you tell them to help them? Maybe top 2 or 3 things that help them kind of A, get through it, and B, get out of it.
Okay, for
Or is there
getting,
anything you can tell
oh
them? I guess that's another question.
yeah, there's plenty of things that I can say to get through it. First of all, you gotta not listen to what you're being called, because they're gonna tear you down. They're gonna work you from the inside out. They don't believe that. You got to know your worth. You got to know that you are loved. You got to, when they say one thing to you, you have to speak a lot of things inwardly. You would tell me to shut up all the time. You just got to find your way out. And there are resources that you can talk to people, but you got to be careful who you tell it to, because he may know those people. If you're on social media, don't put that stuff out
Yeah.
there. Do not do that. That's a big no-no. It's just a lot of things that you have to pay attention. There are resources out there. There are shelters. There are nonprofits. There are places and people that can help you. Don't be afraid to reach out, but you have to do it strategically in the right way, because you don't want to bring harm to yourself and your children.
Right.
And yeah, so it's ways, and just pay attention to those red flags. They're alienating you from your family and friends. They're controlling everything about you, your finances, how you look, what you wear, when you can do this and how you can do this. That's control. They don't even have to put their hands on you to abuse you. It's psychological too. It meant that's still abuse.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah,
too, right? They don't
yeah,
even have to put their hands on you.
mm-mm,
And again, this goes both ways, guys, if you're listening. Guys
yes,
and girls both. It's both sides.
yeah,
I think that's a big thing now. It's just, like I said, I do want to acknowledge that we're stereotypically thinking it's the man against the
mm-mm,
woman, also the woman
mm-mm,
on different occasions.
yeah,
I think your story is like, yeah, it makes me mad. Um, it makes me sad.
it
It
does.
makes me happy
It
because
does.
I'm looking at you like I cannot. I literally, when I tell you I cannot believe it, like I
Mm-hmm.
don't. And that's the thing too. I'm realizing like you don't know what this looks like,
Mm-mm. No.
and it doesn't have
Yeah.
a look.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true. It
it,
doesn't. Even no, it doesn't, because this is what this man told me. He told me that he didn't think I would give him the time of day. And probably wouldn't have, because the way I dressed, the way I carried
yeah, because
myself. See, I was a challenge to him. He thought he was gonna break me. He wanted to break me.
I'm like, and not that I think, well, how can I'm just looking at you like you're so pretty. Like what, fit here, and I'm sure there's
Mm-hmm.
millions of you. And I
Yeah.
say that with all due respect because I'm like, that's millions of women and men out there. They're so pretty,
Mm-hmm.
so handsome. You just
And
don't
they're
even
going
know.
through it.
No
You don't,
vibe, it has no viable reason
mm-mm.
to why.
You don't know.
And it's just unbelievable.
It
Um,
is.
I just want to, I'm looking up above me, these little angels
Mm-hmm.
right here. No one can see them, but they're on this side of me. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like you had some
I
angels.
did.
You had your angels with your
Oh, I
son,
did.
your
I
grandson,
said in my book, they were all around me.
but you definitely
God put them all
had
around me.
somewhere your son, your grandson, and then some others somewhere.
Yes.
Not only
Yes.
brought you out of this, but gave you the strength to tell the
Mm-hmm.
story. That's the other thing. It's one thing to get out of it, another thing to tell people about it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and to tell people like I did. I want to thank you for that. I know I keep pausing because my phone's being weird, but
You're
um,
welcome.
we have 1 minute. I'm going to bring you
Mm-hmm.
back, so we're going to talk about when. I couldn't even get it all of the words I had. I couldn't even use my words because I was just listening. Um, but for those who listen to the show, they know that I'm a cat lover. So this has
Okay.
nothing to do with anything, but curiosity in the cat.
Yeah.
So what are you curious about? What are you curious about? That's the final question.
Oh,
Random.
me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious about uh, curious about you, or
About
just in
anything.
general. Well, I guess I'm just curious and excited about what God is about to do. I really feel great things are happening, not just for me, just for people in general. There's just going to be a shift in this domestic violence. It has to be a shift, and I'm excited about it. And it's just going to take people like you to keep putting it out there and bringing, yeah, me
People
too,
like
but
you.
your platform to talk about
Like,
it.
no, people like you. People like you. Well, I am going to thank you very much, you guys. This is the Taryn Lamb Show. We had Tina, domestic violence survivor, advocate, and author. No doubt about it. I'm going to have her back on. I'm going to call you in just a second.
Okay,
We're going to talk about this.
okay,
Um,
that'll work.
thank you so much. I love
Oh,
all you.
you're
So
welcome.
beautiful. So great to see you in real life. And I'm going to call you in just a second.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. All
thank you
right, bye
very
bye.
much.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Be good to yourself and each other. This is the Taryn Lamb Show, season number 9, episode 2. And we'll see you again soon. Be good to yourself and each other. Bye bye.